Greetings and welcome. The last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the seals in the book of Revelation. The fifth seal, one to fifth seal, and the sixth seal, and how they are escalating God's judgment to us. So today we're going to take a look at the final and seventh seal. The seventh seal. Seventh is a very important number into the Lord and to talk about God's completeness. Seven is number of completeness, God's finality. So here we talk. Jesus opening the seventh seal is very serious because the seventh is the final seal and it's the finality of what's going to happen. The first thing we see happening opening the seventh seal is there's silence in heaven for half hour. Now think about this. You're in heaven, and your angels are singing, the music's playing, and saints' prayers going on and stuff, and all of a sudden, no sound. So if you're in some place and it's really quiet, no sound, it's kind of strange, kind of eerie, you know. So we see how serious God is coming to judgment. See, we're talking about the seven seals. It's talking about the woes of the earth, because what's about to happen on the earth is super, super serious. And God is saying, "This is so serious. I'm going to have silence a half hour, because what's about to happen is terrible. But I have to do it because God has to do this because mankind has set the stage for it. So God has no choice but to send judgment. So after silence, you see how serious this really is. You see that the golden censer is filled with fire from the altar and stuff. And the prayers, the saints' prayers are going into this. So you see that the saints, the prayers going into the fire, into the God's, all your prayers and stuff are not being lost out there. All your prayers you're praying don't go out and get lost. God has them. He has them there. Then so the angel takes the fire from the censer and puts it in the censer and throws it to the earth. So what happens when it throws the earth? They started judgment, serious judgment. Here you see 1/3 of the earth, one third of the earth is burned up. And also, you see 1/3 of the earth and 1/3 of the ships, 1/3 of the animals, 1/3 of everything, but it's going to be destroyed. How serious is this judgment? 1/3. People get antsy and get all news story and get crazy after one wildfire here, one wildfire there. What they're going to do when 1/3 of the earth gets burned up? Think about how the smoke and the flames and the dark skies, basically really creating hell on earth, if you think about it. So this judgment is super serious. It's the final judgment coming then. See God, destroying a lot of the earth, 1/3. And we also see that the bottom of that pit is opened up, and the locusts and stuff come out, and they torment man for 5 months and stuff. You see all this seriousness of just God's judgment. One of the things we don't take seriously in our world today is God's judgment. We excuse it. We say, well, this is global warming, or this is this or that. People don't want to look at the reality, what's happening. God is sending judgment to earth, and it's very serious because mankind has chosen the path of destruction. Look how many wars are going on there right now. Look at what's going on in the world. If God left mankind to his own devices, we would destroy ourselves. And you see, interesting. You see that all this judgment going on and the torment and the stuff that God is still acting, because it says to not hurt the men has God's seal on them. So all this going on is still people on earth that's worshiping and following God, repenting and changing their lives. So they're not going to be hurt through all the torment. All this stuff going on here, these people who are going to be God's seal are not going to be hurt. God's going to protect them. God's always protecting people from judgment. God's always protecting his people from his wrath. Because his wrath is not stored up for the men and women of God, of righteousness. They're stored up for the unrighteous. That's because the unrighteous have chosen that path. There's two roads you can take in the world. You can take the highway. Everybody's, you got here to I-35. You can go down the highway. It's like a giant racetrack sometimes. But you go out here to mountains and you see you take a back road. How you see anybody hiking up there, because it's difficult, and it's not easy. Everybody wants the easy path. Everybody wants the easy path to hell. No one wants to take the hard path, climb the mountain to God. We see all the sin and destruction coming in on the earth right now. God's saying this, he's going to destroy the world. Because everybody's getting upset about global warming and stuff. What they're going to think on the earth, a third of the earth is burned up. People building bunkers here just to try to survive during the end times and stuff. That's futile. It's worthless. It's stupid. And like they're building. It's funny thing is they're building bunkers on island places, on islands like Hawaii. But the Bible says that's going to be destroyed. All the islands are going to be gone. So all the buildings, bunkers in Hawaii are worthless because they're going to be destroyed. Mankind thinks it can survive the apocalypse. The truth is, you can't. You have to put your trust in God. Only God can put your seal on you and protect you. Only those in God can be protected. So you ask yourself today, where do you stand with Christ today? Are you ready for the God to bring judgment to the earth? It's going to happen. Like it or not, I don't care what the news media says, the politicians, what they say, it doesn't matter. The truth is, it's going to be reality. It's going to happen. What's going to happen the next year? We don't know. People saying there's rapture is going to happen here, rapture is going to happen there. We don't know. We all know one thing. God is in control. God is God. And where do you stand with Christ today? Are you ready to stand before God? Think about where your life is. God's willing to forgive you. God's willing to take you in to his kingdom. But you got to be able to stand up and say no to sin. Say no to immorality. Say no to drugs. Say no to alcoholism. Say no to things of the world. Because all those things the world says is good only brings judgment and disaster and death. So this week, think about your life. Think about what you're doing, where you're going. Are you ready for Christ's return? May God be with you and bless you this week.